It's Wednesday. This is Box Talk. I am Chris, the Long Box Punk here on the internet, and I will be joined by a guest here in a bit. But first, look at my wind-blown ridiculous hair. I got some boxes to unopen, so I'm gonna do that. Let's do that. So, the first one. Also, hello, how are you? How's things? Had a great chat this past Sunday with Carmen Costa, now a three-time post-punk. He's been on twice solo, plus he's done one of my horror panels, plus he swung through on one of our Kickstarter launches. So, actually, I guess that makes him a four-time post-punk? I don't know. Had a great chat with him. Carl, how are you? How are things? Had a great chat with Carmen on Sunday. We talked about conventions and working tables and how to pitch your comic and just general, I don't know, the business of making comics. Business. I always think of the eagle from the Muppets in Muppet Christmas Carol when he's talking to Scrooge. Business. Anyway, I had a great chat with Carmen. It's available on YouTube, all the audio podcasting platforms that you usually listen to podcasts on. That is all officially in all of the places today, so you can go and hang out with myself and Carmen. We do some role play, like he's working a table at a convention and I'm just a schmuck walking by. And it just was... he has been around the block making comics, and he's done 73 events in the last 4 years. So it was really wild and awesome to get his take on tabling stuff. Austin, I'll invite you separately. I don't know, honestly, how they're scheduling that. I just still have to hit the little tap invite thing. So I'll get you on. But first, I got 2 boxes to open. I left an envelope upstairs, so that'll just be for me for later. But this first one's from Geek Collective, which tells me exactly what this is. Friend Joey over at the Geek Collective also has been on a launch party with us and was actually talking about these 2 books. This is Archetypes. And the second one. I love this angry vampire bunny. Excited to get into this. It's got an article by also post-punk Adriano from Pesto Comics, and talked to Luke Henderson a whole lot on Discord. So several familiar faces to dig into, but let's take a look through. Let's take a look from the back to the front. There's some comics, there's some articles, there's some more comics, some more articles. Are you noticing a theme? Pinups, writing tools, interview, comics. Hell yeah, look at all of those table of contents. And this giant scary rabbit, white rabbit that draws blood. I hope it is. I hope that is. Halloween special, number 2, and then number 1, explain yourself, Geek Collective. Cool beans. I'm a sucker for the square bound. Like, that's going to get me every time. So, plus Geek Collective are good people, and a collection of short comics, which is my favorite form, turns out. I think I could officially say that. Short form comics, top tier for me. But also having interviews and articles and essays, I want all of that because I participate in all of that. So the next package I got, coolest freaking guy making comics today is who sent this package to me, because no one else screen prints their boxes. Black Lagoon Books. This is from David Lujan. Narrative comic coming all the way from Austin, Texas. Yeah. Screen prints his mailers. Coolest freaking dude I have talked to. I finally backed the physical catch-up tier. Catch-up. And so we've got a feisty, this is the narrative poster of his magical, whimsical mermaid. So there's that. There's a spicier side on the back that I'll just whoop. Did you see it? That's all you get. But that was wrapped around the, let's see, we got a mini print postcard, handwritten note on the back, always good to see. We've got a Yurko sticker. I think I already have that one. Got a super dope Nerda sticker here as well. And then we've got issue number 1. Look at the format. Ooh. It's it's slightly, what is that? 9x8? 8x7? I don't know. But there's number 1. There's number 2. And here is the newest, number 3. The color palette alone. Get out of here. Get out of here. Anyway, David Lujan makes badass comics, is a badass dude. Still, the coolest thing that I think I've ever heard said on my show came from him. I think the first time I talked to him, and he just casually mentioned the fact that he was working on his comic on his iPad in the back of his band's tour bus as they were traveling between concert venues. And I was like, I'm sorry, David. What did you just say to me? He's like, yeah, I liked being able to work digitally because I can take it with me when we're on the road and touring. And so I just work on my comic in the back of the van as we're traveling. I was like, you awesome dude. That's so rad. So super stoked to get those. I've read the first issue because I have it digitally, I think. I don't remember any of my digital comics, if I'm being 100% honest. I back them on Kickstarter because I want to support the creators, and then I get them, and then I put them in my digital comics folder on my laptop, and then sometimes I don't read them. It's a problem. I need to rein in my spending because my basement has a leak. So that's fun. Only when I try and use the hose, but I guess if I'm trying to use the hose outside and it's leaking more, then there's probably a steady drip when I'm not using the hose. And so that sucks because it's on the other side of the drywall. Here in the basement, which is where I'm at, speaking of which, enjoy the wall. Whoa! And my Scooby slippers. This is an intentional joke for one person. The beverage this evening is Galaxy High from Metry. It's my favorite Cincinnati brewery, but I had to pick up Galaxy High for this episode for one person. Yummers. Let's see. Okay, so had Carmadon. Kickstarter funds, an update on AHA. If you haven't, have I sent an update? I sent an update. I don't remember the last time I sent an update. Here's an update. If your name is Ryan and you backed the Join the Death Party tier, please email us pictures, chkcomics@gmail.com, so that we can draw you into the death party. That's number 1. Ryan, we need pictures of your face, my dude. Number 2, funds have hit my account. We need to finalize the death party, Ryan. So we can finalize the file to get the physical proofs. We might just insert pencils for that page to get the proof moving so that we're not just sitting and waiting. But we will get the proof ordered, I'm hoping early next week. And then we got to wait however long it's going to take for the proof to get printed and mailed to me, and we can check it. Or is it going to you, Kay? I don't. Who's getting the proofs this time? Do you want the proofs? Then I'll just get the main order. And I will absolutely tell you what to try while you're here. We will be going to breweries on Friday because we don't have anything con related on Friday. So you, me, and V are going to go and have some good times. And also, Ryan. I'm saying, man, we need your pictures. But we're on the money is in the account, but we are just waiting on some finalized files to get all of that together, because turns out when you have people drawn into your book and you're working with a whole team of people, there's a lot of moving parts, and so we're trying to coordinate all of that. I still think we're going to be well ahead of our deadline, which I think was November. Because I just added way more time than I knew we were going to need, because I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver than vice versa. So you can put that in your notebook as things that you learned from the punk, because I try and live by that. And then that's AHA. So that's the update there. Is we're just finalizing the pages. I got the inside covers done with graphic design there. That's checked off. I'm going to be getting a new, hopefully free iPad on Monday, and so then I'll be able to really ramp up my digital creation. I've got 2 complete 45s done. I think I want to have 8 done and then make an 8-page. I guess that'd be 6 done and then front and back cover. Yeah, and then I'll make an 8-page zine out of my 45s, and I'll have you sell those at 5-star at the table. Because that's basically just going to be a hourglass CHK table, really. And so I'll be selling some stuff there along with your zines, that we both have a zine that we're debuting. The CHK duo zines, we can sell them both at the same time. Genius! Or not. We can do like Outcast did with Speaker Box and The Love Below. Or we can both start solo careers and sell our zines separately, and then make fun of the other person that doesn't sell as many as the one that did. Whatever. You would win, because I'm not going to be at that table often to sell. So there's that. 5 stars coming up June 20th and 21st. And just because you're super fantastic subscribers and you're watching this, if you want tickets for half off, let me know. Okay? I'll get you tickets half off. General admission, VIP, weekend, single day, whatever. I don't care. I'll get them to you half off. So I can do that because I am like He-Man and I have the power. How do we feel about the new trailer for Masters of the Universe? How do we feel about that? Let me know. I'm hesitantly excited because, if I'm being 100% honest, I never watched the cartoon as a kid. I've tried watching the original cartoon now, and to me, it just doesn't hold up. It is kind of annoying. But I feel the same way about Thundercats. It didn't hold up for me, and I loved Thundercats as a kid, but it just didn't. It didn't hold up for me, you know. So, but the newer Masters of the Universe anime series that have been on Netflix with Mark Hamill as Skeletor, I watched both seasons of that, and those were both very good. And I know everybody has problems with Jared Leto acting in anything. I don't. So I'm curious to see what he does with Skeletor. I'm going in like I would any DC movie. I'm expecting a steaming pile of turd, and if it's anything more than that, great. I'm pleasantly surprised. And then I won't be let down, because if you expect a steaming pile of poop and it's a steaming pile of poop, then you're right. Worst case scenario, you're right. So just, do that. Very meh. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be. Whatever. I'll wait to judge till I see it, because I'm going to see it, obvi. But I might even wear my Skeletor pin when I go see it, because I don't care. And I have one. It's on my battle jacket. What do you say? Oh, no. I have to. Nope, I can't say that because I'm waiting. I haven't sent the update to AHA people because it includes something that I can't announce until it's in the AHA update officially. But you know how Kay and I make comics of our own? And you know how we crowdfund those? If you search Kickstarter for Barricade Brigade, our pre-launch page is up. So there it is. That's an exclusive right here on Substack. Thanks for being a Substacker, terrorist Substackitarian. What did we say we were calling Substackers? I don't remember. It was something ridiculous like Substackitarians. Subscribers. I don't like that. No, Substackitarians. That's what we're going to say this time, at least for the next hour until I forget. And then we have this conversation again in a couple of months. Let's say we get a guest on here, huh? Coming to us from the wide world of the South, a post-punk in their own right, someone who is making indie comics, talking about artwork on a new podcast, doing awesome things, taking big swings, and needs to accept the invite. Yay! Perfect timing. We've got Austin Light. How the heck are you, my friend, with the giant horns today sticking? Are they always up like that? Don't you have them that go back?
Well, I mean, I've got the ones for the conventions that is on like a little plastic, like invisible wire thing that goes around my head, and it keeps these big horns. They're foam. They're light. They're like nothing. There's a little pressure after a while of them just pushing on my head, but no, they're not that bad. Now when I have contacts in, I have these horns on, I have high heels on, I've got these like suspenders and this tight belt. I'm like, oh my god, help!
I just want to go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Well, how the heck are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Very busy, but I keep telling people, like, I feel like that's just a state of being an adult, is like we're all busy all the time. So
yeah.
Right now at 9:18, I'm a little allergic. I just cut the grass, and I'm allergic to cut grass. So that's fun for me. So if I'm
is it still like light outside for you enough to have just cut the grass?
It just got dark. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was cutting it in the early twilight. Yeah,
I was cutting it at 11 p.m.
I had a headlamp, and I mean, listen, if my neighbor can cut his grass at like 7:40 on a Saturday, I think I can cut mine at 11 p.m. Thank you very much. Absolutely. We have wars about grass. This is a very like how 40 of me, but we have wars over our grass. I don't care at all about my yard.
Dinkelberg.
I don't pay money for anything for my grass. I cut it at bare minimum, and that's all I do. And sometimes I'll trim it, but I don't do weed treating. I don't seeds, anything like that. So I get a ton of dandelions and clover, and if I didn't have clover, I wouldn't have a front yard. But I pick the dandelions because my neighbor is so obsessive about his yard. He's out there twice a week cutting or edging it or doing. He's one of those. And so
you just throw them on his lawn.
I don't even throw them. I just wait till they're in the white puffy phase.
Yeah.
And I'll pick it up, and as I walk along the side of the drive, I do that. And now all along my driveway and his yard are a crap ton of dandelions. And I'm like, take that, sir. Gotcha.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's not at all obvious when you look at his yard. But he doesn't trim like his grass that overhangs my driveway. And I'm like, dude, it's
still your grass.
Yard. That's your yard. It's just on my driveway. Like, edge it, bro.
Perfect, like surreal looking border.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just like if you're not gonna edge that, then I'm just gonna give you dandelions, and that'll be my gift to you. He blows his grass right onto my driveway and leaves it. And I'm like, okay. All right. So I used to curse him when I worked from home because I'd be, damn it, he's at it again. The dog would just look at me like,
Man,
really?
man, I gotta say, your pompadour is reaching JoJo levels.
It is out of control. I was
Mhm.
supposed to get my hair cut
No.
2 weeks ago, and I'm not going to get it cut until not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So next week will be the longest it'll be before it
No,
goes away.
man.
It also like feels incredible outside today. So I was driving home with my windows open, which just does this as I'm just sitting still. My hair is doing all that. And like people look at me as they drive by, like, what is happening with that guy's hair? So it's also like the wind blown just nonsense and whatever. Yeah. But thank you.
Bro, you gotta max it out. Like, you got a pompadour max, man. Push
Teasing
it.
it to, get
It's
get
gotta be like, it's gotta be like up here.
full Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all about it. So comics and stuff.
Mhm.
Let's get into the weeds. For
Before we
those
start,
yeah.
I wanted to do a little comic talk myself.
Ooh.
Since this is box talk.
It is.
I got Bound a couple of weeks ago,
Okay.
and it's very up my alley. But a little bit more, it's a little better illustrated, better written. Very beautiful black and white manga, inspirational Ghost in a Shell kind of vibe going on. Supernatural. Love it.
Yeah.
And then my friend Aaron Bluski.
I have no idea how to say it. It changes every time.
He sent I got this the other day, the Ice and Bone number 3.
Nice. Yep.
So again, beautiful illustrations going on here. I think this is like magazine size.
Yeah. All of his books are.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is my first physical one from him.
Okay.
So looking forward to his next campaign on this because I did a cover for it. So
yeah, you did.
I'm looking forward to that, and it came with some beautiful prints.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, Mississippi Macabre.
Ooh.
I did pledged to this one forever ago and got it in also forever ago. But it's my first time to show it off.
Listen, I'm not in a position to judge anybody for having a book that they got and or pledged forever ago that they haven't shown off or talked about. Or
yeah,
I have a shelf upstairs of that I haven't gotten to, and it's like overflowing now, and it's a mess.
I do have a question. Is this being streamed to YouTube?
It will end up on YouTube.
Okay. Dang. I told everybody in my email, go to YouTube. That's where I'll be. Oops.
Yeah.
But I did opt in to send an email when I accepted your invite. I was like, yeah, send him an email just in case.
Great. Okay.
But yeah, comics and stuff.
We
can get into it.
So you have a comic series, and it was running on Kickstarter, and then I got an email that said, "Hey, just kidding, it's been canceled." And
joke's on you.
I'm making it, but you can't have it. But like, in all seriousness, before we get into the whys, I know the whys because we've talked, and I read your Substack, and I read the update, and so I understand, and I gotta say I have way more respect for that route of recognizing I'm in over my head. Like, this isn't going to work how I thought it was. I need to regroup and replan and relaunch and take that risk of,
Mm-hmm.
like, I might lose some backers because of it, but like, this is something I need to do. I have way more respect for that than realizing it and just being like, figure it out. And then the backers end up suffering because it takes forever for the creator to then try and figure out where extra funds can come from to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, all that to say, mad props and respect to you for how you're handling this. And also, that's like a large part of why I want to talk to you, because I want to get your perspective on like what happened, because you can't be the first creator that has had that realization mid campaign of like, oh shit, I just recrunched the numbers and the tangerine farted, and so now everybody is raising all the prices again. This isn't going to work. Like, so I'm just curious, what, like, walk me through the last, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. So before, it was probably about a week and a half before I officially made the decision, where I started kind of thinking about it a little bit more.
Mm.
Because when I would get onto the podcast, I'd be like, yeah, so I'm on like page 40-ish, and I'm thinking, I'm looking at my outline of my story and where I want to end this and make the cutoff. And I'm now realizing that this might be 60, 70, maybe 80 pages. And so I was like, so I really started thinking about it like, I've got a lot of pages to make. Number one, like just bare bones story, just bare bones MV, more story to make. On top of that, if people pledge to get commissions, if people are I'm surpassing backer counts that are unlocking the bonus rewards, that's more stuff I'm gonna have to make.
Yep.
I was like, I not only um did I start looking at the numbers, but I was looking at the workload, and I was like, this is going to hit me in several different directions on a bad way if I fund. And I was like, maybe I can continue. If I fund, then I can just let it continue in the late pledge stage, and that'll buffer what I need. But I was like, I don't know. I think I have a better strategy. And like, that's when it really dawned on me that I was like, I should probably cancel this,
Mm.
because I think I have I'm looking at this and I'm like, a lot of the cutoff for the printers, because not only am I doing a trade volume, but I was going to do a single issue as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the printers had a page cutoff of like 50 and 60 to do that, and then they got to be like graphic novel status. And like, I was going to make it like soft bound anyways for stretch goals and stuff. But then I really was like, if this is 70 pages and then some for, bonus pages,
Yeah.
then this is going to be so much more. And I'm like, but I could split it. I could make this a two-part finale, which is not what I want to do. I really wanted to like so in the story, everything that's happening from the end of issue 3 and what's going to end up being the end of issue 5 is one night in
Oh.
time. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I'm like, I can kind of juggle the pacing that way. Like, I've got a lot of stuff going on right now in the
Yeah.
story, so I can juggle the pacing. But is it going to feel weird to a reader where issues 1, 2, and most of 3 are kind of like not the same days, and maybe some weeks pass, and you don't know when issue 1 takes place for real.
Yep.
um but it's not really relevant to the story anyway, so it's not like a big deal. But it, I'm like, I wanted to wrap this up in like 50 pages. I wanted it to end that night. But I gotta always kind of refer back to like the who done it before, and if I evaluate Attack on Titan, there's a chapter where it's all one day, like when the second wall rose. I don't remember exactly. The second wall gets broke into, and they're in the Tross district. When that happens, that onsets a series of events that is like a couple of hours, but it's like so many episodes and so many chapters.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it can be done. So I was like, maybe I just need to split this into 2. And that's what I decided to do. I'm going to split this into 2, attack it with a little bit less of a funding goal, but I have a motivated audience. It seems like I have a small fan base that is starting to coalesce. And I was like, this is a risk. I feel like I'm probably going to lose people, not even just because they don't want to support it, but just because this stuff gets lost in the minutia. And like, maybe they were like, oh, here's Austin's project, I'll pledge and forget about it and not check. I don't check emails all the time, and I'll stay on the phone or anything all the time. And so I just lose backers by sheer like they did it and then they don't think about it.
Yep.
But I was like, I'm going to be in a bad situation. They're going to be in a bad situation. I had promises that I'm trying to make, and I don't think I can keep those promises. And that's not what I want this business to be about. And I was like, but I do. And while I was like making this decision, I started working on an art piece, and I was like, this is gonna be a cover. This looks good. So I was like, yeah, this works. So like I went through Tyler James's comics launch course. And Tyler always says, when you launch, you learn. And when I launched with the volume 1, boy, did I learn. So it's hard to tackle 2 things at once. And I think that that's going to be probably number 1, I had a very long time frame estimate. So like I was planning this 8 months ago. Yeah. And so I was like, looking at my track record, I should be able to have 50 pages done and then run the Kickstarter, be able to get more pages done or more stuff done. Yep. And complete all my promises. And oh, look at that, the Pop Culture Expo lands on around the date that I could launch. And so that'll be a great launch event, being a part of the convention. So I set the date, and I was going to bound and determined to stick to it. And I ran all the estimates according to my projection. And then that projection didn't pan out. Yeah. So learned that way. Learned 2, I'm doing a 2-fold campaign. I'm trying to make a volume 1 trade paperback and the single issue comic. And that's, it's like I'd been making orders for comics that ballparked in like the $400 to $600 range. And then, and if I wanted back issues, that would bump it up to maybe 1,000. Sure. And so I was like, I could cover that. I could throw that estimate into the campaign. And if I'm planning for it for a year and I'm really pushing it, taking all the advice that I can, really hustling, trying to get email subscribers, trying to do what I'm doing, then maybe I can fulfill it. And if I have enough of a push on Kickstarter, like if it's raising some eyebrows, maybe that'll push through those stretch goals that I want. And if I have a compelling page, yeah, I could probably do this. And then so here's the thing, it might not have funded. It was 30%, and it only grew 10% after the launch. So for like 2 weeks, it only went up 10%. And that kind of trajectory at an average was looking like I would probably land in the 80% zone. Like I might have landed in the 70 to 80%. But I also learned from my very first Kickstarter that you might have a super fan give you $1,000. So, and I was like, I could let this run its course, let it, try and get followers, try and do this. But somebody could fund this, and then I'm actually in the pickle that I'm fearing. So I don't want to take that chance. I'm also wasting other people's time. If I have made a decision that I need to split this into two and make a new plan, then every time I get on a podcast and I'm saying, yeah, this is fun, keep going, like keep pledging, then I actually am kind of yanking somebody's chain. Like that's because that's not real. I'm falsifying this. I'm not really wanting it to fund. Yeah. So I was like, cancel it.
Yeah. There's so much there. Like I thought it was ballsy to do the 4th issue and the trade at the same time. I have seen it done. And it has been slow funding for those campaigns as well. Mm-hmm. It almost makes me think that following the advice of people that have done hundreds of Kickstarters that say like, yeah, do all the floppies, and then if you collect it into a trade, that's just pure profit because you've already done the work of the writing and the artwork and the file composition and all of that stuff. So now you just like highlight all, combine PDF and like that's the work you got to do.
Yeah.
And so I've heard that. Granted, I didn't listen to that when I made my own comics. But like, I think there's something to be said about knowing which direction you want to go. If you want to do floppies and then eventually combine them into a trade, or if you just want to go straight to like we did of like, here's chapter 1 of our comic. It's 86 pages. We're not doing floppies. You get 86 pages of story right out of the gate. And then it leaves us having a conversation like we did 2 nights ago of like, bro, we went from 8 pages to 86. Can we write 24? Can we have a traditional floppy length story? And like that was a whole separate conversation because then I was like, well, do we want to make floppies or like because I said it earlier, I love short format. I love writing 6 to 8 page, just like all adrenaline, all story, all punch, and then it's done. And like there's no I don't want to fall into the Dragon Ball Z trope of like, how many Saiyans does it take to turn in a light bulb? 1, but it'll take 74 episodes. Like I don't want to fall into that trap of it feeling like I'm just putting in filler to hit some nebulous target page count because that's what you're supposed to do. Like
Right.
the whole beauty of doing indie comics is we can do whatever the hell we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that is like running a campaign for a floppy and a trade at the same time, we can do that. And if we want to go straight to just chapters of 80 plus pages every time, we can do that too. But like it's on the creator then to execute it. And
Mm-hmm.
being like a cartoonist where you're doing the writing and the art and the Kickstarter and the podcast and the media and the shaking hands and the kissing babies and like you're doing all of the things and all the commissions, like that's a lot for a single person to do. And it's very understandable of like the, oh god, that's like Mount Vesuvius that now I gotta tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you, so like, is there a certain percentage of the work that you want to get done before you relaunch it? Is it based on like backer count for audience size? Like how are you applying the learnings that you've taken and that you've learned the hard way now going forward into this next campaign to get issue 4 funded?
Well, I just have to take in like I'm fairly patient. I was not patient in this instance. I don't like having floppy comics because I do small batch orders and I have to because like I don't want to keep an overstock of them and have to keep them in storage and keep buying bags and boards for all of them and have these little chunks of a big story for people, so they have to like invest, $40 for 100 pages, and all those pages are split in this bag and board and this bag and board and this bag and board. And I just really wanted to have a trade volume book that I can get for $5 a unit and sell it for a healthy profit, but also give everybody a good chunk of the story. Like this is a big chunk. But I've got to I just got to like wait until I'm closer to the part of it was just learning what the specs for some printers are, because I thought that, they could saddle stitch a phone book, but
turns out
obviously they can't. So
well, now I know.
You get staples this big.
Industrial.
Those like pressure things that are like on reels.
That's pushing the staple into your
so I had to figure that out. Like, okay, so there's like a big limit on that, but like I just gotta like wait until I'm at a healthy portion of the story and kind of look at where am I at and what do I still have left. Because had I waited until I had about right now, like I'm at page 38 and I'm probably going to throw in another page or two into the story to kind of like give it a little bit more glue. But around page 35 is where I was kind of like, okay, I've got a lot more pages to do. More than 50. So I was like, that was kind of like my learning point. I had been fairly good with it before, but that was kind of like I was dipping my toe in the water, and I was trying to learn my process, trying to learn how far in advance I could make pages. And so I kind of was like, I'll just, I guess that's what it is. I'm thinking I can cram all the story that I have in my brain, and I'm not really cramming. It's just growing. Like as I
Yeah.
do it, like
Yeah.
this person's got to do this, and these characters are introduced, and they're not going to be pointless. Like they need something to do, um, and and then I'm also like I have so the comic has a hell, earth, and heaven layer. So I need to show what's going on with all of these situations, because as
Mhm.
the story advances here,
Yeah.
something's Lucifer's taking note, and then also this situation up here. I've kind of narratively blocked them out at the moment, but they're going to play a part. So they got to have discussions. Like there's conversations going on here.
Yeah.
And so I want to highlight some of these important conversations that are happening in different places. So it just grows. It's just uh, the garden analogy. I'm not an architect. My panels are loosey goosey. So I have I have a template. So I threw in the blue line, your typical blue line template for a comic page. And there is the trim line, the page line or something, and then like the safe area.
Yeah.
So what I did is I put little guides to the safe area. I put in little black lines and then got rid of all the other stuff. So I have the safe area, and I'm like, if everything gets into this area that I need to get it in, it's
Yeah.
good. Like the dialogue and important
See,
art,
that's
keep
how
it
I
in
feel.
here.
Give me the smallest, because if you give me that little extra, I would want to fill it with stuff.
Uh
Only to get it done. Like, that's a waste of my time.
huh. So so everything that I do is kind of like it's there's no math. Like, I don't like math, so I'll do it if it's needed, like
Yeah.
necessary things. But like there's things that I'm just like, nobody cares the distance between the panels uh in this part. Like
Yeah.
it's all so minor, it's not visible, like so um that and so I just kind of treated the story that way, but I had a plan as if I'm an architect and I've planned everything out perfectly and I know where it's going to land,
Yeah.
and that's not the case. So uh that was my learned uh status there. So
Yeah.
volume one's not going to be 4 issues, it's going to be 5 issues, God willing. But the reason I was trying to do both of them is because I was just like, I probably have a lot of fans that just don't want a volume one if they already have my first 3 issues and they're happy with that, and they just want a little bit of the story that's coming up next. So I was like, I tried to tie in that quote that I had of having of getting previous comics and then just being like, okay, it'll be that quote basically added on to the volume one print. And I was like, I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah. It is funny how, like, as many times as I talk to people about uh, learnings and hard lessons that they've come across just making comics, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I didn't know I had to like figure out specs for how I wanted my comic. I thought I could just send them the file and they make it and fold it and staple it and now I have a book. Like, what do you mean there's limits to that? And like I love the square bound format, but you
Mhm.
have to have a minimum page count of
Mhm.
like 50 or 54 before you can have something realistically be square bound, because
Mhm.
it's just folded and saddle stitched. So like, but you don't know that until you start just doing it. And
Mhm.
that's why I like telling anybody that listens or watches, like, there is no like magic amount of knowledge you have to have before you start. Just start, and like
Mm-hmm.
you'll figure it out, and people will ask you questions, and you just have to be humble enough to be like, I have no idea what you just
I'm winging it.
I know they were words, but I don't know what they meant. So rephrase what you actually need from me here. Like, I
Mhm.
don't, and I do that frequently because there's a lot I don't know. But like, I was thinking about that today at work because they're like my one coworker, because I'm one of four full-time, three, four. No, we have four people now. Well, I'm one of four full-time people, and we each kind of all do our own separate thing. The new hire thinks that I'm this like expert in what I do, and I'm like, I'm not. I just started doing this like 6 months ago. Uh, but she's like, yeah. So when I'm doing this, how, like, it's not letting me enter this information in this one field. Like, why? Uh, I have no idea. I don't know. And it's
Yeah.
just like it was one of those stupid revelation moments for me where I was like, why do we spend so much of our time putting on a face, feeling like we have to know everything, when like we're all just fucking winging it,
Mhm.
right? Like everybody is winging it, and we're just figuring out as we can. There's a certain level of preparedness that you can have, but you can't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
And until you start doing the thing, whether it's making comics or running a warehouse or what, like, until you start doing the thing,
Mhm.
you're not going to know the nuances of it. And like, I don't know anything about plumbing, and so I'm not going to attempt to fix the pipe that's leaking in my basement because I could make it worse,
Right.
and that's my luck. And like, there's significant money that could be cost by my
Mhm.
dumbass if I didn't just pick up the phone and say, I hate to have to call a plumber about this because it's going to cost money. It's going to cost $100 just to get him to walk into my house.
The plumber's like, I don't know, man. I've been in this for 2 weeks.
What kind of piping do you have? Dude, I don't know. Round? What are you talking about? What kind of piping do I have? Was it CPVC or is it CUT? Uh, it's brown? I don't like I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
But I
they
just,
don't. This is in grade school.
yeah, yeah, like, dude, talk to me like I'm 7 because I have the knowledge of your skill set as if I'm 7. Like,
Mhm.
you're the college graduate, and I'm the stupid younger brother that's at your graduation party. Explain what you do. Listen, Engineer K, I don't need you showing off with all your PVC
What's
piping,
up, John?
PEX piping, or I don't. There's too many things. Um, but like, I don't know. I just have gotten really comfortable with just being openly ignorant.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
think to a certain point, like, it's helped me a lot because I'm not scared to ask questions. And so I'll ask the question like, wait, you said that, what do you mean? What's a gutter? They're comics. Like, there's no water
Mhm.
flowing through. What are you talking about? Oh, well, that's the space between the panels.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. Why is it a gutter? I don't know. All right, cool. Whatever. It's a gutter. Got it.
Yep.
But like, if you don't ask questions, you can never learn and then get better at your craft, because now that I know what a gutter is and what gutter space is, I know how to play with it.
Mhm.
And if I don't know how to define it or what it is, I can't then break the rule intentionally, which then, like, that's not a successful execution of art if you're not doing things intentionally and you're just like, I'm just gonna spin this canvas on a giant 360 wheel and push a paint can with a hole poked under it and record it in slow-mo for Instagram and then call it art and sell it for $700,000. It's a very specific example. Yeah, it is. What were you thinking in the moment? I don't know. I'm going to sell this for so much money. You're that's not the same. But I don't know how that ties into anything.
Well, I was gonna say that there was a panel with George R.R. Martin, and somebody asked him about the corn in being in Game of Thrones, because he was basing his food options off of a loose guideline of England's medieval era of options.
Okay.
And he was like, well, I did intentionally put it in there, and I did intentionally also put this food item and this food item in there, because ultimately I'm making all this shit up. None of this is real. So, you just got once you understand, I don't know, some people ask me where do you get your ideas from, and I'm like, it's I don't know, but I got a lot of them and I can keep going. This is, so I just don't, and for me, I don't understand how you don't have ideas that you want to write and make stories out of,
or just live. How can you imagine? And this is granted coming from a lens of ADHD, but how do people function with quiet brains? Right? I was at work and my boss's wife was in helping out with some project thing, whatever. And so she's doing the thing and I'm doing something different. And she was like, we were talking about ADHD and her son has it as well. And she was like, okay. So I asked him, just speak your thoughts out loud as they happen. So why don't you do that? And I was like, you really want me to do that? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And so I just started, as things came into my brain, they just came out of my mouth and I couldn't keep up because there were too many. And so I started getting faster and then things were slowing down and then it was evolving and stuff. And I noticed that she was, really into it at the beginning and it got slower and it kind of became one of these. And I finally realized oh, I think I crossed the line that she was expecting. And so I stopped and I was like, what? And she just said, that was just all stream of consciousness for you? I was like, yeah. Wait, what's your brain doing? And she was like, blue paper, envelope. Blue paper, envelope. I was like, that's it? What do you, you've got to have music underneath that's in your head from this morning or something, right? Nope. Blue paper, envelope. I was like, how do you function? She was like, no. How do you function? I said, well, I just hold on to the thoughts that I need to. And then some of them just,
I got it.
Oh, I like that one. No, get back. Yeah, I don't as a creative, it happens all the time, right? And it could just be I had the right amount of caffeine at the moment that something happened. And it happened, shit, was that yesterday, today? I don't know. I just had one where it was I just must have been at the right level of caffeinated because I had this fun idea and I just went with it and I kept going with it because that's what I do. And I was like, no, that's fun. That's a fun idea to play with. And it just came out of absolutely nowhere. There's nothing that I had seen that influenced it. Like I didn't eat the wrong piece of cheese or something. It was just like, oh, what if this? Oh, but then we could push it to here, and then this could happen, and then we
Mhm.
could turn it into this, and then it could be this other thing, and then it that explains this whole other thing. And like I had all of those connections and all of the things, and that's just what my brain wants to do with everything. And
Mhm.
I don't understand how people, not even creatives, just people, live their lives in just silence. Because as soon as I try and be like, in just, my brain immediately is like, no, don't do that. Keep talking. Like you're on a live stream. You can't, why are you shutting up? That's the wrong thing to do when you're streaming live. It's going to be awkward. And there's people that might be watching that don't normally watch you. What are the views though? And like, it's just all of that all the time for me.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how do you, if you constantly are having ideas, how do you try and control the flow of the ideas coming into your brain from all just going right out the other side?
Mhm. Um, well, like I don't have a whole lot of ideas. I will have a moment in having like an idea. There are things I want to do. Um, but for the most part, if I have like some concept that I really like, but I don't know how to make it work, I'm gonna marinate on it for until it works in my brain. Um, so like I have a UAP project that I want to work on here soon. That was also another reason why I really wanted to get the volume one done is because like I kind of want to take a break from Envy, make some progress in the other things I want to make, but I have like a really good chunk of Envy done and collected in one thing, you know. That
Yeah.
was kind of the goal. But no, I get an idea and like I really want to marinate on it to make it like really go deep and um and if it's something I'm especially passionate about like UFOs and stuff. So uh but like my brain doesn't shut up. Like I still want to think about those things and I'm also thinking like what am I doing later today? What I'm going to eat? What does Janelle think about what I'm going to eat? What is she doing today? Is she going somewhere? What do I did I need to do this? Oh my gosh, I forgot to text this person. You know, like I and and I used to think I feel like I was conditioned into think like I was like told that I don't think about things like I'm not thinking like I don't think about like I just thought that if I'm quiet as a person then my brain must also be quiet like I'm thinking about nothing. So like if I'm quiet somebody asked me what are you thinking about all the things that were shouting disappear and I go nothing. Like I wasn't thinking about anything because it was all nothing, but it was all at the same time. Like it's just like a revolving door of just things that have
Yeah.
to be done or whatever. And and so if you once you snap me out of that, I don't know anything.
Hmm.
Like I nothing. I wasn't thinking about anything at all. Like, and they were like, "You were thinking about nothing," and I'm like,
Nothing.
I guess I wasn't. No, I don't remember what I was thinking about, so I must not be thinking about anything."
Answer must be nothing. I don't have anything better for you. So that, yeah. there's a there's a comedian that my wife grew up watching that would talk about the difference between men and women and how men can go to their nothing box is what he called it,
Hmm.
where like they will just sit in their nothing box and no emotion, there's no active anything, it's just, oh, mm. And so I'll have like brain resets where I just will. What? And like and she'll catch me in it almost every time, and like I'm staring out the window at something, I don't know, and like because I have no idea, I'm not where my brain is,
Right.
so I'll do that, and she'll be like, "Did you just have a reset? Like, are you in your nutty box?" And I'm like, "I guess so. I don't have it," because it's the same thing where like
hmm
my brain didn't stop, but because there's so many different things of just shards of thoughts and like unrealized ideas
Yeah.
that just like yeah, that what no I there was nothing, and or I'll ask her something like really random, and she'll be like, where the hell did that come from? Like, well, okay, so the Libbity Bibbity guy had this leather jacket, which then made me think of Grease. And that made me think of John Travolta with the Face Off movie that he did with Nicolas Cage, and he had the sweet gold guns. And then that made me think of that scene in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels where the guys go in and try to hold up Bullet Tooth Tony with their fake guns, but he had the real gun, and he points out the on his real gun. And then that makes me think of Guy Ritchie. And what was the name of the actor that played King Arthur in that movie that we saw that no one else saw in King Arthur? And she's like, I don't what? Like, yeah, because Guy Ritchie did King Arthur, and that's
Yeah.
it all just
Yep.
came. That commercial just happened. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah. It just that's like
hmm
your brain doesn't do that. Wait, what?
Sometimes I feel like everybody's brain does this. Like I feel like everybody's just lying to themselves. Like
It does. It just you might not catch it or be brazen enough to be able to vocalize it.
yeah.
But I do all the time. And
hmm
like, because that's just how I cope with the ADHD. I don't know. We'll see next week when I actually finally talk to my doctor about it. Like,
I'm
should I
thinking about it.
should I be medicated?
It's crazy because I'm like I feel like I am like am I just in a circle where everybody's ADHD or am I or is everybody ADHD and they just don't know it like or autistic like a little bit on the spectrum like
Yeah.
like what is happening am I like I feel like this is just normal life maybe all the boomers are right they just dealt with it they just conquered it in their self and
They
like
just
because like I
damn
kind
did.
of feel like I conquered it like like I have like I'm successfully starting this comic business like I've had to have discipline and focus and
Yeah.
will and everything to do that so I've had to like cram myself into like no you're gonna do this thing and like you're gonna like focus and it's like it conquered suppressed like either way you look at it I had to like deal with it
Yes. Yeah.
and so but maybe if I have had Adderall before and I have had Ritalin and I think the Ritalin was better for what it's supposed to do.
Mm.
And not large doses, but it was like Zen took over, and I was like, I'm going to do this,
Oh.
and I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to do this, and like it just it just worked. But like the only way that I can like recreate that without it is just forcefully making myself make lists of like
Yeah.
the to-do list today is this
Yep.
and you got to do it in this order and then I can do it but I gotta make myself do the list like make it and that in and of itself like can get sidetracked so fast before I make it, you know. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I
a big
just
fan of lists.
yeah,
Big fan. Yeah. And
and
I've got like I also love spreadsheets. So I have like a master spreadsheet that has different tabs at the bottom, like different workbooks for different things. So I've
mhm.
got like my comic related list. I've got my around the house list. I've got my just be a human list. And and it's just like every couple months I have to just go in and make sure my budget is staying budgety, which it hasn't been, and I need to drastically rein that in, especially now with the stupid pipe. But, um, but yeah, like I love the satisfaction of crossing something off the list
Mhm.
because I'm a tangible person. Like I have to have that ability to see the work that I've done, which is honestly part of why working in a warehouse works really well for me, because at the end of, well, before the carriers pick up, I can look in the bins and be like, oh yeah, that's 172 boxes that I packed up today. Awesome.
Mhm.
And like I can see that in space.
Mhm.
And then they come and they pick it up, and then it's back to me being an empty husk of a human because I'm like, I didn't do anything today.
So, have you ever tried to meditate?
I I have tried. I don't know if I was trying correctly.
Same.
Um I wasn't doing the I can't sit crisscross applesauce. I just my legs don't do that, but so I've tried sitting just quietly. My the best time that I can do any sort of like mental gymnastics and thinking through things is usually when I'm in the car, and I
Right.
will turn off the radio. I'll open all the windows so that I have the white noise of the air coming into the car. And that
These
gives
la- these thoughts are so loud. I've got to like yeah, yeah.
but like the white noise gives my brain enough uh input that it can then actually step above that and be like, okay, so what are we dealing with? And like those are the like when I find out bad news or have something happen that I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with this? That's how I handle it,
Mhm.
is almost immediately like that, because I drive an hour one way to work. So 5 days a week at least, and usually on the weekends because I'm going places and doing things, I have guaranteed time that I can be sitting. So whenever that happens, if it happens like now, I would write down stuff, and then tomorrow morning I would drive to work in the silence, fighting sleep because it's hard, and uh, that's as close as I get to like meditating. But I don't even know if that's considered meditating because it's not the typical like, oh, alrighty then. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not that.
Well, so I had a very kind yoga instructor do one-on-one stuff for me for free, and I did try to tip her as much as I could.
Sure.
But she was very kind enough to do it for free, and I think we did it for about 3 months. And uh, I wanted to learn to meditate, but like yoga really isn't, as far as like regular yoga, it's not super like clung onto meditating.
Mm.
Um, and but I told her one of my goals is to like understand how to meditate, and she's like, I don't know exactly how to like teach you that. Like people just can do it. Um, but I really wanted to learn how to meditate because when so I have another email going out on Tuesday that is going to be talking about their ghost hunt that I went on. And when we go on these ghost hunts, one of the best tools that they use is the Estes session. So they have a radio frequency that is just going flipping through it. They have noise canceling headphones. Like, I mean, noise canceling. All you hear is the flipping of the radio. And my friends will get into it. And so you're supposed to ask questions to the entity, and the entity is supposed to have responses that transcend through the radio waves and like kind of connect with the person's subconscious. And then they kind of say what the answer is, they're just saying what they hear. They're not, they can't hear your question, so they just answer what they hear.
Got it.
And holy crap, I'm having bad deja vu, and it is I just had a huge deja vu streak. And I'm also a believer in that dreams can tell the future if you are paying attention, and sometimes I think I have future dreams. Anyways,
dude, I've had dreams where I will wake up and I will text my best friend like, "Hey, have you heard from this person? Because don't, like, whatever it is that they're asking you about or telling you about, I don't know, there's something that they're trying to get you to, don't, like, just don't." And every single time that that's happened, she's like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, yeah, I talked to him last night and he was asking me about getting together so he could, bounce some ideas back and forth because back in high school, whatever." And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That's awesome. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, when you are trying to sink into the Estes session, you're supposed to kind of meditate and reach into that subconscious. And like, when I get into it, I'm just hearing and like, I'm trying to calm down. I'm trying to just like relax and like try and just kind of let my subconscious hear something, and it just doesn't. And I'm just like, is my brain still too loud? I can't. But like, when my friends get into it, and the other investigators, they're like, I hear they'll just start saying, Robbie, Edward, I'm here. I'm right here. Like, they're hearing something.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, I wish I could do that, because I'm like, am I the sane one? Like, do you just not hear anything and they just think they hear something? Like, what's going on? Like, and like, I don't want to say that because like, I believe them. They're very down to earth, grounded. Like, the leader of the head honcho of our paranormal group is like super like, yeah, I don't really believe that guy. Yeah, I don't really think that guy, And if he's sitting down and he's saying he's hearing clear as day words, communication, and they're having conversations. And like I said, I've had those on. You can't hear anything. Then
Like
what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah. You said that's coming out on Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate conversation when my phone doesn't have 12% battery remaining. I'm getting a new one Monday. But dude, thanks for hanging out. I always have a good time chatting, and I appreciate just like, yeah, these are things that I learned by doing. So if folks don't know, where do they find you? Where do they find Envy? Like, what's the where are you on the internet?
Well, I'm gonna put it in the chat. American demoncomics.com/Kickstarter. And you go to that link and you just sign up. So right now, every starting at 40, from 40 to 50, we got a free e-comic for backers. So when you back, you will get a free e-comic. Every 10 followers from now to the campaign will unlock a new e-comic. So just go follow the campaign. We're already almost to 50. That's 2 free e-comics. The first one is Sync from Comics Tribe.
Yeah.
And the second one, I had a recent creator, Rob, in the Discord channel reach out and say Faint, his campaign going on right now, that if he wanted that, he would like to contribute. So
Nice.
that would be the second one. So if everybody would just go follow that link, and I'm actually going to put the official link in there just in case the redirect doesn't work. But the redirect is very easy to type in. But we will continue to unlock these e-comics as people follow. And so any backers, how that will work. Not everybody's going to get one. You don't get one just because you follow. But once you back, you will qualify to have that sent with all the other bonuses that will be with the Kickstarter.
Nice.
And you can find me at AmericanDemonComics.com. This is a webcomic, and you can read all of it. The cool thing about print is that everything, the script and some of the art, different parts of it might be a little bit more critiqued, and you will get probably a little bit different of a story getting the print versions of the comic, because when they go to print, I try to make sure that they are really good because they are going to be printed.
Yeah.
So AmericanDemonComics.com, here on Substack. Those are my favorites.
Sweet.
That's it.
Nice. That is it indeed. I'm down to 11%. This is so good. Appreciate you hanging out. I don't know how to boot you from these, so there's not going to be a fun hang out afterwards and let's talk.
I got to send you a question afterwards, but you can get to that when you are ready.
Perfect. Yeah. Because I look forward to hearing more about the paranormal experiences that you've had and reading your post on Tuesday. I am all about it. I just need to. I've done one ghost hunt and I had a blast and we caught some stuff, and I want to do more. But my wife is like, no, I'll just go to adventures on TV. But even then, she's like, I don't believe in any of this shit. And I'm like, what? Babe, we've been watching Ghost Adventures for 14 years together. What do you mean you don't believe in any of this? Every now and then there'll be an episode where she's like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird. All right, babe, got it. So always good to chat with you, my friend. I look forward to the revamped Envy issue 4, all of the things that you have coming, and I'll be certainly in touch. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody else that was here, there was a healthy chat happening. So I appreciate you all for joining and tuning in. You can subscribe. I try to do this every Wednesday night, 9 p.m., sometimes solos, sometimes with post-punks. Those are returning guests. I just label everything. So that's what I call them. They've been on the regular stream, which is over on YouTube. Longbox Punk there is how you find it. I just streamed episode 141. that doesn't include all the horror panels that I've done, which are every October, all October long, because I love horror. So that's going to be it for this box talk. Austin, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad that we were able to get this figured out and situated to have the conversation. And I will sign off with the tagline of go do what's good for you and make some art because we need it. We're out of here. Bye, everybody.